Hello and welcome to making the assembly of the engine. So the first thing I want to do here real quick is just to show you what this is going to look like when you're done. So you're going to take this, and I even made one that said rotate me. And if we go down to animate and we hit play, there's our motion. So we have our piston moving up and down using let's move over here so you can see, a cylindrical mate. And then the other three should use revolute. And I don't know why this is there. I'll fix that after we're done. So that's what's happening. So all of the pieces in here are all using a revolute, except for the piston moving up and down, which is a cylindrical. So let's go ahead and start a new assembly. So we're going to go create assembly. Step one is to insert our parts. And I've got my connecting rod. I'll place that over here. I've got my crankshaft. Let's place that over here. I've got my piston. Let's place that over here. And I've got my engine block. And I'm going to set that in the middle here. So when I'm done now, what I want to do is, and I named block. The other ones, I could have named those too, but I didn't. But I did this because I can now right click on block and fix it. And then throughout this little assembly, I'm going to be turning this to transparent and back to regular view. So we'll go back here. Okay. So the very first thing we need to do is we need to put this into here. So I'm going to use what's called cylindrical mate. And when I select cylindrical mate, I'm going to select this and this. And what happens is now this moves up and down inside of the middle of this piece here. So I'm going to go ahead and make this transparent. And that way you can see that it's still moving up and down through that cylinder hole. And if I move underneath, you can see that it also is rotating around in a circle, okay? So the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my connecting rod into my piston. So I'm going to take revolute mate. I'm going to choose this here. And I'm going to choose this here. So you see that it came in the wrong direction. So all I have to do is flip it here. And if you accidentally left it that way, you can always open it back up and make that change. But now you can see that it's dead center when I hit check. I'm going to close this revolute mate so you can see. I know it's sticking up in the air, but I can grab it and it moves up and down with the piston. I can, if I want, I can fix this so this doesn't move, so I can scoot this around down in the right direction so you can see the way it's going to move. All right? Then I need to unfix this so I can move it back down into this object. Okay? So the second thing I want to do is I want to put this part of the crank in this part of the connecting rod. So I'm going to use another revolute mate. I'm going to choose this, and I'm going to choose this. And sometimes it doesn't go together right away until you hit check. And why didn't that move? Why didn't it move? Let's try that again. Let's try. This should be scooting around. Okay. Let's try that revolute mate again. And I'm going to choose this. And I'm going to choose this. There we go. And again, just like before, it didn't go in the right direction, so I'm just going to flip it. And then I hit check. Now, these are all put together. If I move, oops, I need to close this. So if I move this around, you can see that they're attached to each other. I'm gonna just fix this just so you can see that when I fix this, this should move around just like that inside of here. Okay? We just have one last thing to do now. I need to make sure that I unfix this. Make sure you always unfix your parts, otherwise it'll be stuck in place. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this edge to revolute. So I'll zoom in here so you can see. I want this edge. And I want it to match to here. So I have to close my transparent so I can see this part. And if you're not careful when you go into this little section here, it'll choose this end here, or it'll choose the inside, and I want it on this outside face here, otherwise it won't go together. Okay? And you can see this pop down here. It's not updating yet until I hit check. And then it updates all the parts. I'm going to make my thing transparent again, and you can see when I turn this, that's the way my motor should work, or my engine should work. So what I'm going to do now is, I did this before, I'm going to rename this rotate me, or move me, or this is the, like piece. So I'm going to right click now and go to animate, and this is how I'm going to create my video of my engine moving. Okay, that's all I have. When you're done, you can take an animated GIF of this and you can turn it in. Okay.